Good morning, everyone. This is David with Bolivar Live. Hey, we're taking a trip down Highway 87. Actually, I'm heading up to Jasper, Texas for a quick morning run. Be back probably about 2 o'clock with Ronnie. But I wanted to show y'all Highway 87 now. Hurricane Hanna went in South Texas yesterday, but we still saw the effects up here. And so with people leaving today and coming back, I wanted to show you what 87 looked like. We didn't have any flooding. We had a little wash over it here and there. But what the bad part was the debris on it. The rocks, the baseball-sized rocks that they put beside the highway was what was dangerous, because the waves hit them, they washed up on the highway, and if you were, especially in a small car, and you hit it, you know, it wouldn't have been pretty. But first, this Bolivar Live is brought to you by the Big Store. When you're on Bolivar and you need anything, stop by the Big Store and you'll be greeted by a staff of smiling faces and a staff that's eager to help you find what you're looking for. If the Big Store doesn't have it, chances are you really don't need it. We just got an Amber Alert, so I'm sure everyone's phone's going off. But we're coming up to the house, and you can see the surf, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's not as bad as it was, but let me get back here to the road. You can see where we had some wash here, and so just be careful. Road's fine coming and going as far as water, but there is some sand and gravel, and I'm sure when we get up further, you're going to see some of the rocks we're talking about. And so this is right before I call it the halfway house, between Rollover Pass and High Island. And so you can see there's some sand and gravel on the road here from the tide. Right now we're at a lower tide, and I think the higher tide's probably about 9:30 or 10 o'clock today, if I'm not mistaken. And so a little bit later on this morning, we should see the tide up. Hopefully TxDOT will get out here and clean the road again as soon as it happens. And so, but this was overnight. You can see we had some high tide. There's some grass and some sand up on the road, but no big rocks. But let's go down a little bit further, because that's the area that concerns me. And even in my truck, a 3/4 ton, it joggled the wheel when I went over it. And you can watch yesterday afternoon's live feed and see where there was some on the side of the road. We zoomed in on it, and then I drove over it just at maybe 2 miles an hour so that you could see how rough it was. Some of these rocks are about baseball size, and so just be careful if you're coming through here. Pay attention, especially if it's dark out tonight or early tomorrow morning, just to make sure. With Hanna made landfall yesterday, we're going to see should see our tide start going down today, and there's already a difference I can see this morning. And so other than some rain we're going to get today, I think we're in pretty good shape. Power's on. It was off yesterday morning. I think we had some pretty good winds. I think we had some winds up to 35, 40, maybe a few gusts up to about 35, 40 mile an hour. And so, but one of the concepts that I was trying to gather was this storm was, I think it was about 400 miles away, and the effects that we saw from it. So that gives you some idea of what it would be like if it would have come up and hit Rockport, or if it would have been closer to San Luis Pass or something. Then we would have seen, and even with them raising the road, it's not going to give us, we're still going to have to plan ahead. Now, what we're coming up to right now is where the bad part, and along in this area right before the curve, and I'm going to slow down. There's no one behind me, but you can see some of these rocks, and I'm going to zoom in on it so that you can see it. Some of these rocks are baseball size. Now, yesterday they were all the way across the road. Today it's not as bad, but we're not at high tide yet either. And so just proceed with caution. text dot if you're watching. I know you watch my videos some. We've got to do something about this bull rock, or the rock that you put beside the highway, because it's going to hurt someone, and that's what worries me. So anyway, we're going to pull in here, give you a shot of the cross, shut everything down, head north up to Jasper. If you're in Jasper, wave at us. If you see us in town, we're going to go up and do some work up there real quick, and then head back, and we'll be back hopefully on Bolivar Peninsula by about 2 o'clock or so. And we'll give you, you never know, we'll take you on the road with us to where you can be with us on Bolivar Live on the road. So anyway, there's the cross.